All right, everybody. Hi, welcome.
To the Spacebar.
Welcome to the Spacebar. Yeah, there we go. That'll do.
That'll do.
Where it's just us two dudes talking about, whatever we find
Stuff.
interesting
Yeah.
and I guess life experiences too.
Sure.
Um,
We'll go with that.
okay. So the things I've written down, I guess the number one thing that I figured we'd talk about the most or talk about quite a bit would be the new Star Citizen 3.18 update. Hopefully, it's going to come soon.
Yeah. Because you refused to play the game with me without it.
I'm just waiting for the new update, man. They say it's going to be end of January. Of course, it's end of January, which everyone's kind of expecting it to be later than that because that's just how it goes. But I'm excited for it, and I don't really see a point in playing until it comes out because it's coming out hopefully soon. Unless if it gets delayed or they say it'll be another month or two, of course I'll hop on and play. But
so in the letter, the latest updates, they said that they were going to prioritize like stability and bug fixing and back end work. So
it'll be stable and hopefully not buggy.
Well, it's still Star Citizen.
Oh yeah, no, Star Citizen is not going to be stable for years.
I don't know. So they did a lot of so they added a lot of extras as far as like rendering and back end stuff. So performance is up.
Yeah.
And they've been working on that.
Is there a lot of background noise, by the way? My mic, I can't tell. I see the thing is showing up that like it's on when I'm not talking. Or is it okay?
It's like a fan that I can fix and post.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, I'm excited for the update. Lots of cool things. Hopefully new. Okay. I wrote down. Okay. A question for you would be features that you would want to be added that you would think would make the game a lot better. What do you think can make the game better?
Better in like instructions in general. I'm gonna be honest.
Like a tutorial?
I wouldn't necessarily say tutorial, but I don't know. I feel like you spend a lot more time figuring out what you want to do versus actually doing it. And there's no like, so everyone who pledges, they get a ship. There's no like, actually, no, the biggest thing is under the personal tab on the contract manager. It needs to tell you that, hey, this is illegal. Because there's some missions that aren't, if I remember correctly. It can be a personal thing, but it's not necessarily an illegal mission.
I think it depends on like the name. You just got to look for the name and know which one's illegal. I don't really know actually.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to.
Yeah, I feel like it would come up like.
I feel like if the name was in red.
Yeah.
If you put the name in red and that was like, hey, by the way, what you're doing is it going to be illegal?
Yeah, that way they don't pull the, oh cool, let me accept this contract that pays 20,000 credits, and then you get over and start doing it, and then you realize, shit, I have a crime stat now, and then the whole process of getting rid of it that took us way too long.
Yeah.
Okay, I wrote down some things that I think would be really cool or things that I would want in Star Citizen. First thing would be a change. They need to change the freaking map. They need to.
That's coming.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I'm hoping they make it better because right now using the map sucks. I really want them to fix too how if you try to warp to a like a moon on a planet, you should just be able to go straight there if it's within if it's line of sight. If the planet's in the way, then sure, go to the planet and then go to the moon. But I hate having to go to like Crusader and then one of the moons.
Oh yeah, I agree. But it also makes sense because you're going to that system You know.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, but I wish there was a way. I mean, a way to just go where you want to go instead of going around. You know, it just feel like it takes a little bit more time. Another thing I wrote down would be better delivery missions. I feel like there should be like a
Oh no, they are kind of boring.
yeah, make them better, and I would like to see like eventually, you know, if you keep doing it, you could get a lot of cargo to deliver to where you know you
Yeah,
land there and they actually
yeah,
fill up
because
cargo and then you go transport that. That would be top tier.
I will also say with the crash, like the crashed, what should we call it?
Like the wreckage that you go and grab stuff from.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hold up.
Dog's already starting some.
Dogs.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
because
worried about
I
my
got
dog.
home like an hour ago.
I'm waiting for him to start barking or something. That would really ruin the vibe.
Oh,
Um,
it's gonna be bad whenever Jordan gets home. But
um, yeah, that would be nice. I also put down um, I would like better cargo, like a better cargo economy to where trading or moving cargo is just, you know, instead of earning like $20,000 in profit for spending, you know, $600,000 in cargo, you know, somehow make it a little better or a little more lucrative, I guess. Because I mean, the only thing really that's lucrative is the bounty missions that you know grind to do to get to the higher tier bounty missions. That I mean, honestly, you need you know really good ship to do those anyways, and maybe even a crew or mining, which is what you know we spend most of our time doing, which it's fun, but you know I want some more things to do that can actually make me money that I can use to get the cool ships that I want.
yeah, I feel like the path to get like that
Oh,
answers that. But yeah, I feel like that path is
and I'm
it's
sure
boring. It's boring.
I'm sure they're one to add that. Uh, I think they should focus less on you know putting a bunch of new ships in, which I think they release. I don't know how many a year, but it feels like it's quite a bit. Instead of that, just you know, focus more on, I guess, more things you can do. You know, more fun things to do, better missions, more
Well,
missions.
so with the crash, the wreckage deal where you go and you get the beta, whatever that chemical is.
Mhm. The one
Um,
that blows, or the one that'll like expire. You're talking
yeah,
about?
it's got like a time limit.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, with that, you hit you hit a point where you don't make any more money from it.
Mhm.
And that's the point that I'm at where everything I get is like 11,000.
Yeah,
And
that's another thing with the delivery quest. Like the highest thing is like you know 8,000 or 12,000 credits for like you know the delivery missions, and
I wouldn't even mind if there was one for like, 80, 90,000, but you gotta go
gotta
across the
book it.
system.
Yeah, you gotta book it. You know, it's like a
Mm.
5 or you know it's like it crashed way later, and you show up at a later time, and there's you know like 7 minutes left on the timer, and you got to get to somewhere sooner for a lot more money, or maybe even like quantanium. You know, since you know when you
Or
mine quantanium, it'll you know
or
it's
they could
explosive.
also they could also have it to where every time so the whole job is under one, to
Mhm.
where they could have a minimum, and then each package itself is another amount of that.
Yeah,
And then it's randomized however many are there. So you could like it's almost like mining had night,
yeah. I
where
think
you
they should add that to like the when I talked about the cargo, like better delivery missions to where you know you get you know you could fill up your whole ship with cargo for a delivery mission. I feel like they could do that, and then you know you add they give you a little percentage on top of your delivery fee or delivery payment. Would be nice. Like they give you extra, and then whenever you deliver it, you get like so much extra whatever to sell that you can sell.
yeah, but I feel like
Mhm.
there could be better things to do to pass that time.
Okay, moving on from Star Citizen because I feel like people wouldn't want to hear us talk about that for a while, and I feel like it'd get old and boring. Cool game. If you haven't checked it out, it's very cool. Also very buggy, and it also has a kind of a negative. I don't know the word for it, like a negative
Connotation.
connotation. There we go. Negative connotation to it because it's been out forever. I think it's a really cool game, cool concept. Definitely been a challenge, I guess, making. I'm sure from what I've heard, it's built from the ground up, which is pretty cool.
It took them 10 years.
Yeah, it took them 10 years, and they're still working on it until they have to make a new or move it to a new engine. Whenever that old engine becomes more obsolete than it already kind of is.
I don't know if they will.
Yeah, who knows?
They already made the changes to Crytek.
Yeah, they might just develop the engine more as they go on. I don't know.
Or who knows?
Anyways,
they might not.
Moving on. Dude, did you hear about the 6-year-old kid that shot his teacher?
I saw you put that in the group chat.
Dude, yeah, that is wild. And I'm surprised I haven't seen it like anywhere. I saw it like one thing on TikTok about it, but I haven't even seen it on Twitter. I think it's been on the news though, like mainstream news media. But
I think that's because of I want to say that's because of the teacher, because the teacher was like, wait, she's in critical. She didn't die.
No, yeah, she's in critical condition.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wild story because I watched it or like kind of looked into it after because I was like, yo, like, what the heck?
Did you hear what happened over here last weekend?
No, I'll listen to that.
Oh,
Come on, there. I'll talk more about this story, and then you can say your story.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently, I don't know if you know much about the story of like what happened, but apparently the kid showed up to school that day and like told someone or told a kid or even I think he even threatened the teacher saying like I'm gonna hurt you. And then I think he told the student I think that he had a gun or something. The student went and told the teacher, and then the teacher told the principal. And the principal's like, I guess he just didn't believe her. Because I mean, it's a while. I don't know if there's ever been an incident of a 6-year-old shooting someone like willfully, but anyways, yeah, this administration didn't do anything. And then apparently, like another teacher went to the administration about it, and then they still, like, I think it was like 3 separate times. And one of them was at the end of the day, and the principal was like, it's the end of the day. Just leave it, let it be, or it's almost the end of the day. Just don't worry about it. And then end of the day comes, and yeah, the kid shoots his teacher in the chest, I think, and then I don't even know what happened. I think he, shot his teacher, and then I guess they took the kid into custody. I don't know what happened after. The parents ended up making a statement though, saying that he has an acute disability, and that I don't know. People were saying that the parents are lying about some things because the parents said that he has a disability and that the mom has to they're whatchamacallit, they're working on a solution for his problem and all that. But apparently, like the mom was saying, yeah, I'll walk him to class and stuff like that. And then people were like saying, like, no, that's not true. The mom can't do that because it's against some regulations in the U.S. for, I guess, an adult that's not a teacher, a registered teacher, to be with the students like that. I don't know. It's it's a wild story. But sorry, what were you gonna say? What happened near you?
Oh yeah, so we have this group of bars by LSU, right?
Yeah, I can see where this is going. Yeah,
and like I've been there before. There's these 2 bars next to each other, and you have to be. I want to say you have to be 21 to enter because it's easier. Yeah. It's easier for them. But there's one bar where you can be 18 and enter.
Mm-hmm.
And then 21, you get a different stamp or whatever. So
they stamp or give you a wristband. Yeah,
yeah,
usually how it works.
And well, what ended up happening was, so this girl goes there drinking or whatever. She's hanging around like these three other dudes. And then at some point throughout the night, when she wants to go home, she asks them for a ride.
Mhm.
And then apparently she ended up giving all of them a ride, if you know
Mhm.
where I'm going.
Yeah.
And then whenever they dropped her off, she walked. She was, I guess they didn't drop her off in front of a house or something, but she
Mhm.
walked in front of a car and got hit and died. Um,
Dang.
so they also found out that her blood alcohol content was a 0.31.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
It's like 4 times the legal limit. Dang.
yeah, because he legal limit's 0.08,
Yeah.
and hers was 0.31.
Wow.
And the what made it worse was that supposedly it wasn't consensual.
Oh, the what she did with the people.
Yeah, yeah. And apparently, like, she could barely walk, and
Mhm.
it was like three guys, and I was like,
Yeah,
and
that
of course,
seems like
like
it may
the
not be
bar got
consensual, but
yeah, the bar got stripped of their liquor license, which that bar deserved it. I'm not
yeah.
gonna lie,
I
but that
mean,
bar,
she's
no, no,
18. They're letting her in there.
well, no, that was fine. It was like they were serving her, but apparently she used to work
Oh,
there.
gotcha.
So, um,
I
on
feel
top of
like.
it,
Sorry, go ahead.
apparently she was messed up whenever she left, which,
Mhm.
you know, I mean, I'm not the smartest one, but if I would have seen one girl and three guys leave and the girl can barely walk, it's not
Yeah.
going to put a good taste in my mouth when I'm
Mhm.
watching them leave, because I just the odds of how you could take advantage of someone is too high.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. I feel like that if bars, I feel like they should let people under 18 in or under 21 in, no matter what. Because I mean, if
I think
someone's
it
18, they're
depends
coming
on,
in.
like,
Someone's gonna buy them. They're gonna be 18-year-olds having people buy them drinks. Like there's,
I think yeah, yeah.
it's gonna
I think a
happen.
dry bar would be a good idea.
A dry bar.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like, no alcohol at the bar, but it's still a bar, quote unquote.
Yeah. So just more like a hangout spot. Get some root beer, get some sodies.
Well, I
Go
mean,
to
you
the
could
bar,
still
get some
do
sodies.
like mixed drinks, but they just would be virgin drinks
That would be an
instead
interesting
of.
place. I feel like that would. I feel like
I
TikTokers,
think
underage TikTokers would love a place like that. I don't know why. I just feel like that would be a hit with the younger kids to have they'll look like they're partying it up but they're really there at the dry bar. Speaking of drunk girls, I have a story actually from this past weekend. So, when I was visiting my girlfriend, I was at her place and it was like 11 something, I think almost midnight or maybe even past that. I don't know, because I took my dog out at 11 something and I took him out at like 1 because I don't know, he was just being an ass. And at one of those times, I don't remember exactly. Uh, I was walking him downstairs outside, and then was walking him. And as I was walking down the stairs, this girl was walking on the hallway, and I heard something. It sounded like either she was like, I don't know, laughing or something. I don't know. And then I turn around, and yeah, she's like crying. And of course, I'm sitting there
oh,
like it's just me and her outside. I'm like, oh, I gotta be the nice person here. So I was like, hey, is everything okay? And then she says no, and I was like, oh, like of course I'm like looking around, I'm making sure like she's not, no one's trying to get her, or she's in danger, but she's just kind of walking and crying. So I'm like, okay, something, drama, I'm guessing. But I'm like,
how
oh, of
bad can
course,
it be?
yeah. But she says no, and I'm like, of course you got to ask now, or like make sure everything's okay. If they say no, and you say, are you okay? Like, if you're a
Yeah,
decent human being. So I'm like, okay, I'm like, I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry to hear that. If you want to, if you want to tell me if you're comfortable, that's fine. And then I also said, I was like, is it boy drama? And she nodded her head. I'm like, oh, okay. So then I was like, sorry to hear that. hope her night gets a little better. And then I walk my dog over, and he does his business. And then I walk back up the stairs. So she was sitting on the stairs too. It was so awkward. She's sitting on the stairs with her friend on the phone, crying, talking about some guy and some other girl that I guess, I don't know, drama with them. Um, so then, I walk up, get into the apartment. My girlfriend. I walk in and tell my girlfriend, I was like, "There's some girl out there like crying." She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's sitting there crying. It's over some like I guess drama with a relationship with a guy or boyfriend or something. And she's like, "Oh dang." I was like, "Should I?" And I was like, "Do I need to go out there and make sure she's okay?" She's by herself too, and it's like really late. I didn't want I wanted to make sure she got somewhere safe, and make sure no one would just pick her up, because she was also wearing, it was like 40 some outside, and she was wearing like a really short like corset crop top, like
Oh,
almost
like she
almost
just
no
got
shirt, like she was at
back
a
from,
party.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
at a party.
I knew
Yeah.
she was at a party. Uh, so I'm like, shit, I didn't even think it would be cold, but uh, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go talk to her, and my girlfriend came with me actually. I went down, and she was off the phone at that point, and she was just sitting there, kind of crying, looking at her phone. So I walk up, like, hey, you want some company? You look like you could use some. And of course, she's like, yeah, thanks. And then I sat down with her for a second, and then my girlfriend comes. She's like, hey, do you need a jacket? It's cold. And the girl's like, yes, please. Um, so then I was sitting there. The girl was drunk, or she seemed pretty drunk, by the way, too. So she was sitting there, and she was talking to me about, something about a friend of hers talking to a guy she liked. It really seemed like it was not worth crying that much over. But I don't know her. I didn't know the whole situation.
Well, that's like how people get whenever they're drunk.
Yeah, sure. She was also, a little drunk. Um, so then, yeah, we were sitting there with her. I was, of course, my girlfriend walked away. I was sat with her still, and I was like, I pulled the old cheesy. I was like, admit. I was like, I know you're gonna hear this. I know you probably heard this a lot, but it'll get better. Trust me. And then I told her the story uh, of Erin, my ex girlfriend. I was told her that story. She's like, oh wow,
Which story?
which one?
Like, no, yeah, because there's a few stories that both of us have about her.
No, the whole breakop story,
Oh,
which
so from
I might get into
October
in the
3rd.
future. Yeah, I might
Yeah.
get into it in the future here, but I mean, I don't mind. Maybe a different episode, maybe later in this episode. I don't know. We'll see what comes up after the story. But yeah, so I told her about that, and of course she's like, "Oh wow, I'm sorry to hear that." I'm like, it's whatever. I got my new girlfriend now. It's things are great. Um, and then as she was sitting there, my girlfriend comes back, gives her a jacket. Uh, she was talking about, she's like, she's getting away from people, getting away from somebody. I was like, oh, okay, And then all of a sudden, in the parking lot, or the way it's laid out, you can see both stairways, outside hallway and stuff. How I guess most apartments are, but it's like hallways, kind of.
Yeah,
I don't
like
know. You
that
kind of
centerpiece.
There's like, it's like the two stairs on the left and the right of the building. Then they go
Oh,
forward, and
okay.
it's like a U. It's
Okay.
like a
Yeah.
U. It's like one of
Yeah.
those,
Yeah.
that kind of style. So yeah, we're
Okay.
sitting there, and then on the other stairs, she looks over and she sees some guy and a girl walking. She's like, "Oh my gosh, hide me, hide me!" I'm like, I'm just confused to this whole situation. And then of course they see her, getting up and like walking away, and then they start walking over, and then they get up like, hey, that's our friend, we're worried about her. And I'm thinking like, do I need to tell them to go away? Do I need to, like, I don't know. um so, and then she's like up on the second floor, on like the landing of the stairs, kind of sitting there like crying. And the people start walking up the stairs, so I'm kind of like, okay. So I kind of let them walk, but I'm making sure everything's all good. And then they come up to her, and of course she's like, "No, go away. I don't want to talk to you. So and so, you know, this girl's a bitch," something like that. And then the other girl's like, "No, no, she didn't. She didn't do this. She doesn't like him. I don't know, a bunch of drama."
Oh,
Um.
awesome.
Anyway, oh, she was also. Oh, sorry. Before that, she also called her friend for a ride too. So I was like, "Okay, cool. She's got a ride." Um. And then I don't know, the friend, it was a guy and a girl. The guy's like, hey, what's up? Thanks for, looking after her. And me and my girlfriend are like, yeah, no worries, just making sure she's okay. So then they talk to her. I guess she calms down a bit, and then the girl was, I don't know, the girl didn't want to be with those people. They were like, hey, let's go. We can go take you somewhere. We can. I don't know. She's like, my friend's on the way. Uh, so then
Uh,
she gets those two people to leave because she's like, you guys just, I just want to be, I just want to be away from you guys for now. So they're like, sure. The girl's like, yeah, these two, talking to me and my girlfriend. She's like, they can stay with me. And I was like, sure, that's fine. I don't mind staying with you till your ride gets here. That's fine. Uh, and yeah, those two people leave. The girl's ride shows up, and then me and my girlfriend go back, and we're just like, what the heck? What was that whole situation?
like, what happens?
Yeah, it seems like me and her always get into situations like that. Because another story I have, actually, if you don't have anything you want to add.
No, I'm all for those.
Okay, so this was like me and my girlfriend's like third date, something like that. And there was like an event at school. Um, there's like it's like a carnival type event. They have a bunch of stuff, and you can go play games, do win prizes and stuff. So we were doing that for the day, and then after, we were still kind of like, this was like literally like a week or two into dating. So we're like, I was kind of like, hey, do you want to go get some food, and maybe I suggest just go to the park nearby and kind of just walk around and go for a walk. I like doing that. And she was like, okay, sure. So we were driving around, we got food, and then we were driving to the park, and it's like um, I don't know, it's like a hill, a lot of hills and twists and turns in the park.
Yeah.
And we were driving around, and then as we were driving, we got almost to the point where we wanted to go. It's a lookout point because over the hills, and you can see the whole area and stuff. It's really, really pretty. We see a dude laying on the side of the road. And we're like, what do we do? We're like,
Yeah.
are we going to be good people here and stop, or are we going to go, just go on our way, and, someone else take, that mentality of someone else will do it. So we finally get to there was a parking spot or parking area not too far up ahead. So we're like, okay. So we park over there, and then we start walking down the road to him. And he was laying down there. And of course we walk up, and I was like, hey man, you okay? Uh, everything all good? And he's like, he's the first thing he tells me is, hey, can you call me an ambulance? I'm like,
It's very rewarding.
yeah, I'm like, okay, like, sure. So I start calling the ambulance. I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? He's like, man, I'm really drunk. This is like at like probably like 3 o'clock, by the way. This isn't at like evening time. This is like middle of the day. He is drunk on the side of the road, miles from any like home or like place to live. He just, I don't know. Um, he was, so I'm starting to call 911, and I tell them like, hey, I'm at here. There's a guy here on the side of the road. He seems very intoxicated, and he told me to call an ambulance. I'm not 100% sure why quite yet. He just told me to call one. So the 911 operator was like, uh, yeah, can you try and give me a better location? I mean, it's just in the middle of the woods kind of thing. I was like, yeah, we're near this
Florida.
point on the park. If you know where that is, I was like, just tell them to just keep going. And they were like, okay, it'll be a minute till
An
they get
hour
there.
and a half.
It'll be a minute till they get there. I'm like, okay, sure. And then so I hang up the phone, and we're just sitting with him on the side, like kind of standing on the side of the road. Also on the side of the road, just like the curvy roads. There's not like a shoulder or anything. It's like literally the road, and then like 4 feet. It's just woods. We're just kind of just in the woods, kind of off the road. So we're just sitting there. Of course, I'm like, hey man, like how'd you get here? Apparently he was with friends, and they ditched him or something like that. They ditched him.
So fun.
And he's like, he asked for our names too. And then, how I do like the fake name at like a fast food
Extra.
restaurant and stuff like that. So I told him a fake name, and then my girlfriend also did too. She's like, yeah, I'm so and so, and then he was like, oh, hey, like you two, you two go to school around here. I'm like, yeah, and then we told him we're brother and sister too, also just to kind of add to the fun of it, to mess with them.
That's also weird at the same time.
It's sure.
It was unnecessary.
We didn't kiss or anything in front of him or anything, but then
that'd be awkward.
Yeah, but then he starts talking about himself. He's like, oh, I'm so and so. I've been in and out of prison a couple of times. I'm good now. I'm doing this, and he starts showing me he's like, oh, let me. He starts talking about his family. He's like, oh, let me show you them. I don't know why. I don't remember exactly how he got to talking about it, but yeah, he was sitting there. He was bringing up his Facebook on his phone, which took him a minute too, because I could tell he was fumbling with it, trying to remember what he was doing. It's just kind of funny to watch. And then he's like talking about, so and so on Facebook. Oh, I think he even like mentioned, he's like, yeah, I can, I got a cousin or a niece or something. Oh, you look like you'd be a good match with her. And I'm like, oh, thanks, maybe, maybe. And
I
yeah,
have to
so
see if my sister approves.
Yeah, let me ask my sister if she approves. And then he, we're just sitting there talking with him on the road for a while. It was a while. It was probably a good like 20 to 30 minutes of talking with him. He was also really worried about going to jail. He's like, I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go to jail. I can't, I don't want to go, he offered to pay us and stuff. He's like, yeah, I don't want to go to jail. Just, I'm I don't know. I was just confused on what to do pretty much. And then a cop car drives by. And of course, a cop car drives by and sees three people on the side of the road where they really shouldn't be on the side of the road. So then he, of course,
Didn't you call for him?
No, we called for an ambulance. And I saw the cop car in the court at first. I'm like, oh, cool, they came.
Oh, they don't send
here.
3 over there like they do. For over here, if you call 911 for any like domestic reason, they send a cop car and a paramedic. Regardless, fire department shows up later, but they're on call.
Huh?
But also here,
I think they were just sending the paramedics because I just told them, I don't think. I said it was a non-emergency. This guy's just intoxicated and just told me to call one. But yeah, the cop pulls over or comes back and is like, hey, what's going on? And I explained to him, hey, we just found this guy on the road. He told us to call an ambulance. We're kind of waiting for one. So then he tells us, hey, can you just go up the road a bit to the parking lot? So of course, I try to tell the guy, I'm like, hey, we didn't move. Can you move to the parking lot? And I could tell he was getting a little nervous too, because there's a freaking cop there. So we get him up, and we get him walking up there. It took a while. He was walking real slow, kind of stumbling a bit, but we got him up to the parking lot, and then he's sitting on the curb, and the cop joins us too, and he was asking us what happened, more details and stuff. So we told him everything. And then thankfully the cop is like, okay, well, I can wait here until, he told us like, yeah, it'll probably be a while. They don't, there's a lot of busy traffic or busy day with the ambulance. And I don't know. He just said it'll probably take a while longer. And he just said, you guys are good to go. And I was relieved at that point because I'm like, thank God I can continue on my day instead of babysitting a drunk guy. And then, yeah, we get in our car and drive away. And I don't know. I guess the guy either got an ambulance and went to the hospital for something, or went to jail. I don't know. Yeah. The whole time too, I was also kind of worried too, because like I was worried I'd get in trouble for calling them if he's not in any danger for like wasting medical services. But I'm like, he told me to call him, so what else am I gonna do? Someone's telling me to call an ambulance. Like, I mean, what are you gonna do? You kind of have to.
Call an ambulance, but not for me.
Yeah, that's 2 interesting stories that me and my girlfriend have had together that the first one we talk about every now and then because it's kind of funny.
Wow. Yeah, I've not really had any weird stories like that.
Really?
I mean, did you want to the video that was in the group chat? You know
What
which one I'm
video?
talking about? The one on the
No.
ring,
The
on
Ring?
the Ring doorbell.
Oh, we talked about our friend. Freaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell that story. Sure. I think it was 2 years ago. No. I guess, yeah,
No,
technically
no, no,
2 years
no,
ago. It
no,
was
no.
2020,
The one that
2021.
happened the other day
The other day.
with the blicky.
Oh, you're talking about the dude getting shot over there by them?
That was personal.
It was personal?
You
What?
didn't feel the bro?
I didn't see the
Dude got
video.
a whole. Oh, you didn't see it?
I don't think so then. I thought you were talking about the guy that died where all of them live over there by Texas State.
Yeah, that was. Oh, was that like a memory, or was that from the other day? The
It
one with the
happened the other
gunshot?
day. I didn't see a video. I just saw someone put in the group chat the guy showed the guy on the ground in the ambulance and stuff, and they said, a guy got shot.
Yeah, yeah. No, so the video was captured by their doorbell, right?
Oh, I didn't see this.
And
No, what happened?
so literally, you don't really see much. Which I mean, it doesn't suck, but it does for the sake of my curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
But so what ends up happening is that in the video, you just hear like people freaking out,
Mm-hmm.
and then the and then you see these dudes running. And I was watching it and I was like, man, why are these people running? And then you hear it sounded like a Glock 40
Mm-hmm.
because it was loud. It was louder than a 9. So I was like, oh, it's like someone's
Someone shoot
mad.
U.S. shooters.
Yeah, but it was the whole clip.
Really?
Yeah,
All
all
what, like all 12, 7?
yeah, all 12.
Dang.
And I was like, damn. I was like, that is obviously someone is not happy about that.
Yeah, they were beefing. Well, I don't know if you've heard. I kind of asked them like what happened to try and get more information. Whenever I talked to them, I guess yesterday or something like that, I was like, "Yo, what happened?" But apparently they're, homie was at a party and I don't know, they just got into it with someone at a party, and that's what happened.
Well,
That's all we really
Texas,
know.
Texas things.
Yeah, Texas things. Always assume someone has a gun, especially if you're beefing with them or getting heated with someone.
Especially if you also have a gun.
Yeah. I don't know.
But
If I'm at a party and I see someone have a gun, I'm booking it, dude. Fuck that. I am not sticking around.
last time I
As
was at
much
a
as
party and I had a gun, I ended up shooting it. It wasn't at anyone, but
yeah, whoa, I need to clarify that.
yeah, I need to clarify that. But
Where did you shoot it? What did you hit? The target?
It was a tree.
Oh, okay.
It was not this New Year's, but the New Year's before, and I was plastered. Hey, it's your turn to have a dog. But yeah, I was plastered, and it was midnight, so we all decided to shoot a little bit.
Yeah. Huh. Well,
I would also like to add. So while we're talking, I'm cleaning my keyboard, and this keyboard is disgusting.
Oh, mine's. This is the keyboard. I don't use this one, or this one I haven't used much. My good one. It's okay. Probably needs to get a good dusting, get a can of air and spray down. But
no, like I'm having to scrape stuff off of the aluminum faceplate.
Dang, bro, you got them Cheeto fingers or what?
No, it's like
Grease, sweat, hand oils.
Wait here, let me mute my mic real quick.
Hopefully everyone's enjoying the podcast, listening in.
There we go.
I'm having a good time actually. This has been honestly better than I thought it would go. Honestly,
yeah.
I thought it'd be a lot more awkward silences or a lot more gaps in conversation. But it's been pretty good. Hopefully, people listening are
Still
enjoying it
listening.
too. Yeah, hope still listening. If anyone's listening. Uh, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something when you were talking about the party. Oh yeah, I was gonna say like when I mentioned if I see a gun in a party, I'm just running. I mean, some people will be like, "Oh man, I'll go take him." Heck no, I'm just gonna run. I'm not. It's not worth getting shot over.
Nothing's worth getting shot over. That's like
Oh
so
yeah,
here. I don't know if you have this when you go to bars by where you live, but over
actually, I'm not.
here,
So I don't know.
well, well, but there's a lot of people over here who are hot-headed
Mm-hmm.
for
Oh, they're like
various reasons or
everywhere.
whatever.
But yeah.
Well, and so everyone wants to fight, and like, I mean, you remember that situation in high school with our buddy who was supposed to fight someone, and then it never happened.
No, actually, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. So um, I made arrangement, or so he told me in the beginning of school one day. He was like, "Hey, um, I'm about to fight this guy after school, so I need your help because you know he is a string bean
Mm-hmm.
and I was not, to put
Yeah,
it."
I'm not sure who you're talking about, but you can tell me who it was later, so that way we don't.
Skater boy.
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, you can tell me later. I'm not too sure, but you can tell me later. So
yeah.
we don't
The
dox anyone. I mean, first names
um,
I guess are fine, but I'd rather not.
but this guy he ended up like, of course, not having a fight,
Mm-hmm. Did
but
he like wimp out, or just didn't go through with it, or what?
it was the other. Uh, I think it was a whole lot of how fights don't usually happen because it's two people just talking to talk.
Yeah, yeah. So I
I mean,
feel like the
I
whole
managed to
see
go
you after.
through,
Sorry.
yeah, the whole see you after school, see you by the playground.
Yeah, see you after school thing's a little weird. Like I know it's in a lot of movies and stuff, but I don't know how often it really happens. At least I haven't really experienced. I've never even really heard of anyone doing that. Most of the time, if dudes are gonna fight, they just go on the spot. At least from my experience in high school. But
Yeah,
sorry,
they
what were you
just go
saying?
fight.
So what
Hmm.
happened with the whole situation?
Nothing. Like I
Hmm.
was like, all right, so when are we fighting this guy? And then
You getting
showed up.
involved too?
I mean, I was like, I'm here, and I
Yeah.
yeah. Then they were like, oh yeah, we're kind of not really fighting.
Hmm.
And I was like, so
Yeah.
why am I here then?
I don't know if I would step in a situation like that. Like, if I'm sorry to say this, but if you and you and some guy were gonna fight after school or something like that, of course I would go to make sure you're not gonna make sure you don't die. Which most of the time it's not just dudes fighting and then whatever they
Someone always got a knife now.
yeah. But I don't know if I would step in, especially if you kind of did that to yourself. But of course if someone if you're getting in an argument with some guy out of nowhere and then y'all start fighting, of course hop in and try and help or try and maybe break up the situation first or something. I don't know. But anyways, so what happened? Okay, so yeah, what happened after the fight that you're I guess getting to?
Yeah, after the fight, I was like, so this guy just like bail, and then he was like, I guess, and then I was kind of mad because I cleared up my schedule for that.
You cleared up your schedule.
Yeah, my super busy freshman schedule.
Oh, it's freshman year.
Yes,
Okay, then maybe
you know who, but
was he around us in eighth grade
oh yeah,
in middle school? Okay, then I think I know who you're talking about.
he's been around since sixth grade.
I mean, I'm sure he's been around. Wait, it's no one in our friend group,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Then
You really weren't a part of this, were you?
no, I thought it was someone who's I don't want to say any names, but someone outside of our friend group who would kind of would be around, I guess, other people. I don't know. I'll tell you who I thought it was later, but Huh.
Oh yeah, no,
I didn't
this
know this. This
yeah,
is like someone I talk to like
this
every
was
day.
yeah, this was
Wow.
because of he was dating this girl, and this girl had a best friend who was um always around her
Mhm.
and was feeding her false information.
I think I'm getting a better understanding on who it is, but I'm also trying to figure out who are our friends dating freshman year. I don't know. Anyways,
Well, so our other friend was dating. No, I'll just tell you after.
dating her
I,
friend. I'm sorry
no,
for anyone
no,
listening. I don't want to name any names. I don't know. I just not the first episode at least. I don't want to name drop people, even though it's not really name dropping. It's just first names, I guess we'd use. But I'm sorry. If maybe a later episode.
maybe a later episode y'all will get those details.
I doubt anyone will remember it. We'll like start talking about it in like a year from now, and people are like, "What? Continuing what story? Huh?"
What story?
But I
What?
mean, maybe they'll listen to the first episode and all the way through. They'll listen to the
I do
first
that.
episode.
Well, I do that to an extent,
Mm-hmm.
unless because I've tried to start watching like I'm not watching the Joe Rogan podcast from episode 1.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I think pretty much all podcasts, you don't really need to start from episode one unless it's like a story or like some sort of I don't know. There's when there's continuity in the episodes, that's I guess when you need to rewatch it. But yeah, like what was it like the WAN show? I didn't start episode one. I just kind of started
No, I just
whenever I
yeah.
just saw a title from like last week or the past month, and I was like, oh, looks cool, and then started from there.
Yep, that's pretty much what I did. Well, because it makes my workday go by so much faster. Because instead
Oh
of
yeah,
me counting the minutes, it's like, oh, I just have to watch 2 episodes of the WAN show because it's like 3 hours long.
yeah. That's how I am when I drive. Like when I go home or go see my girlfriend, it's like a 3.5 hour drive. So I'll put on like two podcasts and I'm good.
It's 3.5 hours to go up there.
It's like yeah, 3.5 hours from here to my girlfriend, and I think about three from here to home.
No,
Yeah,
my
it's a
drive
drive.
is yeah. I don't have that long of a drive when I go anywhere.
Really,
I
like
don't know why.
driving. We'll
Well, I
see
mean,
your mom.
home. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
to
my
see your
mom is.
mom. Yeah, it's like what
That's a
7
long
hours?
drive. 5. It's
Five.
5 now.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, it ain't too bad.
Sucks you don't have any talking points for the podcast. I mean, it's fine.
Well, I didn't really know that we was gonna do it today.
Well, I told
I
you
thought
that.
we was gonna talk about it more.
Oh, I mean, well, kind of too late
And
for
then
that.
you was like, yeah,
I mean,
you boofing.
yeah, Huskies are always talking, man. Yeah, always talking. Oh, sorry, I didn't. I thought we kind of thought it'd be today. I mean, I hope you think it's going. I think it's going pretty well.
Yeah,
It's going better than I
it's
thought.
going.
Like I said, yeah. Um. Okay, I guess another topic. So my girlfriend had a project this weekend for a class. The class is called Death and Dying, actually. I
What?
Yeah, it's like hey, I don't even really know what the whole class is about, but one of the like her project, I guess, was to interview someone over 60 or 65 or something like that. So when we visited my grandma this past weekend, uh, she asked her some questions. Some of them were kind of cool. Some of them, I
Are
mean,
you afraid of death?
that actually was one of the questions. Yes.
I know it was one of the. It's
Well,
always
yeah.
one of
And my grandma, of course, was like, "No, I have the Lord." But she said, "I do kind of fear the unknown, or I fear a painful death." Yeah, but
the. Fair
one of the
enough.
questions I thought would be really good is inventions in society that have changed, or inventions in our lifetime that have changed society. And I mean, we're pretty young, but I feel like there's a few that have definitely made a huge impact on society. Like one of them would be the iPhone, or
Well, that's not even a
smartphones in
smartphone.
general.
No.
Smartphones have changed like everything. I feel like how we do almost everything, at least for like business and even social interaction. It's changed a lot.
Oh yeah.
Anything you think would be applied to that question?
I'm gonna go with like inventions or advancements in technology.
Uh, we can go advancements. I mean, we can go broad with it. Advancements or inventions. I mean, go for it. What do you got?
So I would say that the um like advancements with semiconductors
Okay.
has it's like as far as like the computer hardware space, there's people that talk about Moore's law being dead now,
Mm-hmm.
which that's not really true. But at the same time, the fact that that's a thought is enough to kind of make you think about it.
Mm-hmm. What exactly is Moore's law? I'm not too familiar with it.
Moore's law is that for every year um, technology gets smaller and faster and more efficient,
Mm-hmm.
or there's like a scale. Well, so when good old NVIDIA released the 4090, and they got asked why it had such a beefy big boy
Well, it's got to
heatsink,
cool everything.
and they said that Moore's law is dead. So now we have to make things bigger to have the same performance, and we're not getting any better power consumption or efficiency.
Yeah, I
To
feel like it
which,
could be true. 'Cause, I mean, there's only so much you could pack onto a computer component until you need to make it bigger to get more power out of it. More higher voltage sent through it. You need more capacitors and everything to handle it. Yeah, I feel like that's. Yeah, I feel like
yeah, but I also feel like that. And then you had another company make. So, for instance, when AMD released their new cards,
Mhm.
they managed to fit a lot of not the same level. Well, actually, yeah. So the architecture that NVIDIA uses for their current graphics cards,
Mhm.
AMD architecture is smaller, more efficient, and for some of the cards, it's better. It's better performing.
Mhm.
So they proved that wrong
Mhm.
in turn, which is interesting because what they did is they changed how they manufactured. So they went to, instead of like your NVIDIA graphics card uses a like a single die and then a heatsink on top of that,
Mhm.
where AMD uses chiplets now, where it's like multiple smaller dies,
Mhm.
but they can be more efficient because they're smaller and it's a less area of heat.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
it
I
allows
think.
it allows them to pack a lot of punch in a small package.
Yeah, I think. I forgot what I was gonna say. Sorry. The
I don't know.
biggest obstacle, I guess, for newer technology is definitely heat. I mean, I'm sure I guess a lot of people
Oh
know
yeah.
that. Yeah, uh, I think the biggest obstacle for new and powerful processors and stuff is just being able to keep it from overheating. With all that power and everything going through it to keep it running at a certain clock speed.
Oh yeah, because that was even an issue that AMD had for a while, is thermal throttling, but that had to do with a manufacturing error. That wasn't a inherent issue with the card itself.
Okay. Another invention I wrote down. I think I don't know. I'm just kind of biased, I guess, with this one, but USB-C, incredible.
Yeah,
My
but
girlfriend made fun
there's
of
a
me the
lot
other
of
day when I talked
oh,
about it. When I was like,
he was nerding out.
I was nerding out. I was like, man, like I was like telling her, like, man, like USB-C is definitely one of these. I was like, it's so much better. USB-A, it's all right, I guess. Even like from a physical standpoint, USB, like I've had, the plastic whatever to help keep it in the port. I've had that come out when I pull it out and stuff. USB B is really flimsy, or micro USB. Sorry, it's like really flimsy. The old phone chargers and stuff, they can break. I've had them snap. I've had a few of them snap before. Uh, I don't know. USB C, USB what 3.1 point whatever they have now. It's a whole mess
Well,
of
now
USB.
now there's USB 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
USB. So you have Thunderbolt. Uh, the biggest issue I have is that USB Type C
Mm-hmm.
puts a lot of power into the cable that you use.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be like, you could have a Thunderbolt 4 capable like laptop,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have a Thunderbolt 4 docking station. But if you have a Thunderbolt or like a Type C, which is the same speed as USB 3.1,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to be able to do anything.
Yeah.
Which sucks because there's no like when you pick up an Ethernet cord, right? And on the side it has to say, the category
Mm-hmm.
of the cord it is. That doesn't exist for USB.
I feel like it should, because yeah, I mean the only thing they have to show it's a Thunderbolt, Thunderbolt port is just a little lightning symbol or whatever they use now.
The Thunderbolt.
Yeah, sorry, Thunderbolt picture. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Man, I wonder what ominous icon we can use to
Yeah, I wonder what
really
logo
make
we
sure
can
people.
use for Thunderbolt. I wonder. Yeah, they used the Thunderbolts like on Lightning McQueen. They copied it
Well,
back.
that's a lightning bolt. There's a difference.
Is it really though? Thunderbolt versus Lightning Bolt?
Enough for them to trademark one and not the other.
Yeah, true. Um, Another thing I said would be, I guess it can kind of go into one. I have two right here that I haven't talked about yet. One of them is Wi-Fi, even though it's not it's been around I guess before our lifetimes, but like not very long and not very good. I feel like when we,
You're talking
born,
about like the Wi-Fi 5 and Wi-Fi 6 standard.
kind of, but like I'm talking like when we were born in 2001. I mean, uh, Wi-Fi. I mean, I think weren't people still using dial-up internet too? Like Wi-Fi wasn't all like
Well, up until
it wasn't in every home kind of thing. How it is now.
it's still not in every home. The U.S. is one of the countries with the like. They talk about Wi-Fi being a necessity, which it kind of is, but
Nowadays,
um,
yeah, it kind of is. I mean,
there's no. And some states have government programs that pay for Wi-Fi,
Mhm.
which is all fine and dandy.
Mhm.
But like I've had family members who quit using dial-up like 07, 08. They were still using dial-up.
Really?
Because that was all that was there.
Wow. I guess yeah. I mean, the U.S. is really
I mean,
big.
now they don't, but
U.S. is really big, and I guess trying to the old what coax lines and stuff going. Yeah, I could see that in some remote places. Anyways, yeah, like the change in it from going to Wi-Fi that you get lucky to get 1 megabyte down. Nowadays you get gig speeds for way cheaper, which is awesome. Uh,
and even at that, it's too expensive.
some places, I think it depends where you are, because some places got cheap gig speeds. When you like here, it's like
Well,
$100.
anywhere with fiber is going to be cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, I used to have fiber, but now I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason why I don't pay too much is because my apartments have like a deal with the internet company, so we get a nice chunk of discount.
There you go. That's nice. I don't get a discount now. I wish.
Not that you know of.
I mean, maybe I probably do. I mean, I pay $50 a month, which isn't terrible. I get I get 300 down.
Are you allowed to pay more for faster?
Yeah, I could pay. I think it's like 100 or 90 for gig speeds, but I mean, it's just me here, and I don't really download a whole lot. I mean, I downloaded the Star Wars today. It was 80 gigs. It took like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I mean,
Yeah, I definitely
that's
feel
pretty
like
off speed.
There's negative returns after a certain speed.
Oh yeah, I mean, it also I could say, or I think it also can come down to how many people you have in the house. So having to deal with bandwidth and everything else that I guess paying for higher speeds, having more devices and stuff like that, could also play into wanting to have better internet. And then okay, the other thing I have written down, I guess it could tie into the Wi-Fi not invention, but the changing society, streaming, streaming music, streaming movies, TV shows. I mean, that has definitely made a huge impact. Going from listening to CDs to getting an iPod. I got my dad's old iPod when I was 8 or 9, and I was like, whoa, 800 songs, like this is crazy. Listening to Guns N' Roses and AC/DC and all that, it was crazy. And it was just all on, the thing. I mean, I think it was like iPod 5. It wasn't even like the first iPod. Like the iPod, I don't know, version 5, where it was it was small. It was a smaller one, and it was it was
I mean,
awesome.
I had this little MP3 player that I had 30 songs, and I was like, hell yeah, I get 30 songs.
Yeah, so yeah, streaming music. I mean, now you went from CDs to having to download music onto an iPod to now just opening up an app, and you can have pretty much any song you could think of on there, which is
Well, I can
mind blowing to
even songs that you can't listen to in public. Which is kind of funny when you think about it.
What do you mean?
Like Johnny Rebel.
I don't know who Johnny Rebel is, actually.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't know.
It's a song. It's a song about a certain Alabama resident.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you can't listen to that in public.
No, yeah, of course not. I mean, I wouldn't really listen to it anyways.
Yeah, I don't either. But it's one of those songs that you can listen to it on all streaming platforms.
Really?
It's on it. You can. I know it's on Spotify.
Yeah, really. That's funny.
Yeah,
I mean, I know there's a lot of crazy. I mean, I have a playlist of like meme songs, like the Dicko mode, just for a laugh. And then the 4 big guys. I have that too. Just.
Do you have the On My Tractor song?
No, I don't.
Oh, I gotta tell you to put that one on that list then.
Okay. I'll have to give it a listen. But yeah, stream music, and then streaming TV shows, movies, and stuff. I mean, going from having cable, we used to have Comcast cable, and then they upgraded to the DirecTV, which was honestly miles better. Even though it was satellite, the only downside, I guess, to having DirecTV was that when it was storming really bad, the signal would cut out. But
well, now, actually, the biggest thing with internet speed that I will say is if you'd have told someone, even when we were in elementary school, that you were just going to use the internet to watch all your TV in the house
at
the same time, that it was like unheard of.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Now, I mean, we don't. We had the option to buy TV, and I was like, no. It's like we have every
No, I
major
don't
streaming
pay for
platform.
cable or anything. No.
Yeah.
Heck no. Freaking like my parents have Fubo TV. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's
Yeah.
another streaming service. It's pretty good. I like it. You know, they play live TV. They have like live TV stations. You can record shows, and it also has like archives of TV shows. Like I used to record Family Guy and The Equalizer. If you've ever seen that TV show with Queen Latifah, it's
I
a
was thinking the movie when you said The
no,
Equalizer.
no. I mean, yeah, the movie's top tier, brother. If you haven't seen that movie, anyone listening, that movie is great. With
You know,
Denzel.
the movie is top tier.
What?
Interstellar.
Interstellar. It is. I've seen it. It's a really good movie.
It's one of those like. It's even cooler whenever you understand more of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like what movie did I watch? I think it was when I watched Inception.
Yeah, you're saying you really understood Inception? You a giga brain?
Well, it's not after you understand it. Really, before you understand it, it's not that hard of a concept to understand.
Yeah,
Um,
I've actually never seen Inception. I
you've
remember.
never seen
No,
Inception.
we okay. I was at my
Let
grandparents'
me check
house.
what it's on.
I was at my grandparents' house, my parents, when I don't know, a few years ago, and it was on. And I think my dad put it on because like I don't think we even seen it. So we started watching it, and of course, you know, my grandparents and my mom, they're like, you know, what's going on? Like they just,
Oh,
you know, so
oh,
confused. So they got to a point where they're just like, okay, let's just watch something else. I was actually really enjoying it. I mean, it was like I think we
it
watched
was
like
like the
20
Hateful Eight. You remember when
Hateful
we were
Eight.
watching that?
Yeah, they hated it. I enjoyed it. It was a good movie.
I remember your dad was not having that movie, and then I
Yeah,
was
it was.
watching it, and I was like, my only issue was was that the TV was too low, and I couldn't hear.
Yeah, I thought it was a good movie.
But yeah, for Interstellar, whenever it's I don't know if it's like a dopamine that you get, but whenever you're watching a movie that's supposed to be like keeping you on your edge, and then you figure the movie out,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
that like rush that you feel like, and that you can only get it once.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when you understand Inception, or when you understand Interstellar, or
Mm-hmm.
really movies like that that take, you know, some thinking to think about.
Yeah, I
Like
hate watching a movie.
I'll watch like, I mean, so have you seen the new Avatar?
I have not. No,
Well, your dad has.
I know.
Um, uh, but like that movie, there's nothing that you don't know is gonna happen.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Like it's a
hate
cool
watching a
story.
movie and like when you're like, you know, maybe less than halfway through it and you're kind of like, okay, I kind of got it figured out what's gonna happen in the end, you know.
Well,
I don't like that about
um,
movies.
Jordan gets mad at me because I do that, and then
You
I call
spoil.
it out.
Yeah, you call it. Oh, I bet
Yeah,
this is gonna do that too. I'm like,
yeah.
oh man,
I was
this is gonna happen. Me and Jane do that. We'll be like, we'll watch a movie and we'll like, you know, if it's a good movie that we're like watching and you know, kind of like a you know movie that we don't know what's gonna happen, we'll be making guesses or we'll be like, yeah, I bet this is gonna happen. Yeah, I like doing that. It's I don't know. It's just how I work, how my brain works.
yeah.
Um, sorry. Anything else you want to add? I had another topic I wanted to get into, kind of. It's not kind of related.
But I also think there's a difference between like a movie that you watch for the thematical reason,
Oh yeah, and then a movie
and the
just
movie
to
that you watch just to enjoy the cinematography.
yeah, just to
Like
relax and you know watch something kind of interesting. Yeah.
like yeah, like that's what Avatar is, because whenever you do watch it, because eventually you will,
Mhm.
if you watch it on a really good TV, you will appreciate it more than if you watch it on a plasma TV from 15 years ago.
Oh yeah,
Just
definitely.
because
It's like an
like
OLED TV. Oh
yeah, like you'll be able to take advantage of like, you know, how it's double the frame rate of most movies. It's shot in 48 frames per second instead of 24.
really?
So yeah, that's why when you're watching it and you're like, man, that's a smooth animation. Well, yeah,
Huh?
because they had to animate twice the amount of frames. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
there's only been a
That's
few
pretty cool.
movies that I know of that were shot in that frame rate,
Mm.
and it allows for like a whole, like it's like another layer
Yeah, I bet. I mean,
of
it's like playing a game at 30 frames per second versus 60, or I mean, maybe not quite a drastic difference, but yeah, similar thing where it's like, wow, it just feels like it's moving smoother. It looks, I just feel like it makes it look better. I guess your brain can
Yeah, like
process
another.
when it's smoother.
Let's see if there's another. There's no other very popular movie that was shot in, um, you know, however many frames per second.
Well, I hope that becomes a new thing.
I
Hopefully,
think it will, especially for action movies.
yeah,
So,
and hopefully when
did you
TVs
watch?
raise the frame rate for like the average TV, be cool, but that's probably ways away.
Yeah, did you watch Gemini Man?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, Gemini Man was also that was in 60 frames.
But there's not a lot of CGI animations in it, is there?
No, but it's still it's an action movie, so there's a lot of fluid movement.
Yeah.
But yeah, the new Avatar was shot in 48, and then there's a new Animal Farm movie apparently.
Really?
It's based on the George Orwell. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I
gonna be
remember
cool.
remember reading that in school.
That's gonna be fitting for what's happening.
Yeah, kind of, maybe.
Oh, well, speaking of things to add,
Mhm.
um, did did you hear about what happened between Russia and NATO?
Recently, like within,
Like within the past week?
no, I'm guessing, were they threatening nukes or something?
Well, that's been going on for a while.
Yeah.
But Russia pretty much said that they are ready for war with NATO. They're ready to declare war with NATO, and that has to do with because the good old United States decided to send Ukraine 2 tanks.
Yeah, the Abrams tanks. I saw on the
Yeah,
news actually. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So Russia was like that. You crossed the line.
Yeah, yeah, you crossed the line. Yeah, you crossed the line into their territory or in our territory.
Yeah.
Talk about crossing lines. Yeah.
I mean, we've sent them money, but I guess money's different from sending them a tank.
Yeah, I mean,
Even though I think we've sent them enough to where they could have bought a
a
few
few.
tanks.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I was on. When it first happened, like the few days of it. Like when it first started happening, everyone's like, "Oh my god!" I was on Twitter, reading everything, watching all the videos because I mean there was videos of a jet flying over someone's house. The whole was a Ghost of Kiev, that whole thing.
Oh yeah, that dude was a legend, and I think he died though.
Uh,
I
Unfortunate.
think he was shot down, but his kill count was crazy.
Yeah, what a legend. What a hero. Um, yeah, I was on Twitter and all that, but now I'm just. I mean, it's been going on for a while. Honestly kind of forget about it every now and then. Unfortunately, probably a bad thing to say, but I mean, it's just
Oh, so two
not in
months
the forefront of
after,
my mind.
so 2 months after the um after that came out, Ukraine said that he was a myth.
Really.
Yeah,
Oh, I mean,
but I
hey,
don't care.
he rallied the people, I guess, somewhat,
Yeah, it
maybe.
was a nickname given to a mythical MiG-29 flying ace credited with shooting down 6 Russian planes over Kiev during the Kiev offensive.
I mean, if 6 planes got shot down, who really cares
Yeah,
who shot them down? They got shot down. That's good, I guess. Good for
I remember
Ukraine.
watching. You you know when you're watching something and it's like so cool, but it's not. It doesn't make you sad, but it gives you like a sense of like pride
Mhm.
in a way. So you get like that emotion
Mhm.
built up, and so like every time you watch one, and you like get the chills
Mhm.
from watching them, then you're like, man, that was like really cool. Like that dude's doing something.
Yeah, he's kicking ass.
He was getting it.
Okay, going back to the movies thing, I was talking with one of our friends earlier today about like so he was playing Star Wars. I think you know who it is. He was
Oh
playing
yeah.
Star Wars, and uh, I've never really been a huge fan of Star Wars. I've seen I think most of the Star Wars movies, and I mean they're not bad. I've
I've
just
seen
never been like
66% of them.
a
Get it? Ha! I didn't even mean for that.
wow, dad jokes,
Yep.
typical. Um, but yeah, I mean I've never been a huge fan. I was talking with him about it, and okay. Recently, for some reason, I've been getting a lot of like Star Wars like lore and stuff on my TikTok, and actually a lot of it's been really interesting. I will actually sit there and watch like what happened to this person at this battle. uh it's been really I'll sit and watch it. It's pretty cool. But I was talking with him. I was asking him questions about he told me he was really into Star Wars in middle school. I didn't know this, but he's like, oh dude, I was way into Star Wars. I was reading, I was always reading the lore, watching videos about it and stuff. I was like, oh. So I was asking him questions about people in the Star Wars universe, and what happened here. What's the deal with this guy. What's the history behind this and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Um,
It goes so far.
yeah, I honestly never knew until probably
Is this?
weeks
Are
ago.
we are we witnessing the? Because you remember when I used to know like the League of Legends lore. Well, lore videos have always gotten me. Like I've always loved watching them
Yeah.
because I know all of the cyberpunk lore.
Mhm.
Because there's a lot of it. I know all of I know most of the League of Legends lore.
Mhm.
Um,
I kind of
I've
wish I did now.
seen
Kind of wish I did, and I might get into it.
I've seen it makes you appreciate the game in a
Yeah,
whole nother
definitely.
realm. Um, I've seen all of the Star Wars lore, but the problem is you get to a certain point where the sequels happen, and
Mhm.
I don't like any of that, so I
Mhm.
choose to ignore it.
Mhm.
Um, and then there's another series that I know most of the lore of that it was from. It's usually from a game that I've played a lot of.
Mhm.
I know. So Doom has lore. I don't know if you even knew that.
I know there's lore. I don't know much of it. I didn't know there was. I don't
And if
know if there's a lot or not, but I know there's some. Yeah.
yeah, and I tried to get into the Star Citizen lore.
Mhm.
If you want to talk about a game that has way too much lore, so Star Citizen has 300 years of very detailed lore.
Really, I actually didn't
So,
know that. I know there was some
you
backstory
know
behind
how
things,
the
but I didn't know it was this
there's a
detailed.
lot.
Wow.
So, you know how the UCC is the government, I guess.
Well, isn't there different like zone or different like governments on the planets, right?
Currently, it's the UCC is over all of them.
Okay.
That's like when you go into a zone that you can't shoot in, it's a
Yeah.
UCC controlled zone. Well, okay, so the UCC is the third government to come up.
Mhm.
Yeah, so there's two other governments with a complete story.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
it's very cool, but it's very time consuming.
Yeah, maybe we can get into more of that in another episode. But
Yeah, but
anyways,
there's
yeah. So we were talking about the lore of like Star Wars and stuff, and like the movies, and I was like telling him like, man, I wish there were more movies about it. Like, in my opinion, I think the lore is honestly better than the movies. Like,
that's almost everything.
and he was telling me that like they used to have like a bunch of people that would write the lore, but then when Disney bought Lucasfilms, they kind of
Yeah,
cut that part off, and I'm like, man, that was like, I
yeah,
mean,
they
they're
had.
still doing stuff like the series, like Mandalorian and other series that I haven't watched yet, which I guess is cool, but like similar to like Marvel movies, like the Marvel
Oh,
comics
I
and all
was
that,
thinking of
and then
so
how Disney will do a Marvel movie, and it's just
um yeah. I don't think I can watch a Marvel movie anymore.
I
It's
just
boring.
uh, it's just
It's
it's
the
old.
same.
It is
Yeah,
old. Like
it is rinsed and repeated.
I mean, okay, I the whole Avengers and Infinity War and Endgame saga, or the whole that was pretty good. I'll admit, the movies maybe, you know I don't know, Marvel movies are just kind of okay. kind of overrated in my opinion.
Um,
But it was a cool, good, I guess, story series ending, and then now they're doing a bunch of stuff. That I'm like, okay,
Marvel died when Stan Lee died.
yeah, I think so.
Did you also know that? I just had it. Oh yeah, so I know most of the Assassin's Creed lore
Really,
because there's a lore with Assassin's Creed.
I never knew that. I figured the whole
And
point of Assassin's Creed, of the whole, it was lore. It was going back in time to do things.
yeah, but there's a creation of like
Of the machine and the whole, the reason why they're doing it. Yeah.
yeah. And then what other? I just saw this other game. That like most of what I know lore from is from games. But
I've never really been a huge lore person, but over the past like week or two, I
there's
think
also
I think I'm becoming more of one.
my biggest issue with games with Disney actually
Mhm.
is so before Disney bought Lucas, there was twice the amount of lore that there is now.
Yeah.
Because now there's canon and there's not canon.
Mhm.
Well, so like I'm kind of salty because The Force Unleashed, both of those games,
Mhm.
they're not canon.
No,
So that never happened.
it's just a made up story from the Star Wars universe, or I mean, yeah, just a made up.
It's not even a part of
Yeah, yeah,
it's not canon, doesn't
just a
matter.
made up
Um
story. Gotcha. Huh?
and
I didn't know
and
that.
it makes me mad because
Why
like
not do something about the lore? Like, why not?
like
you have the stories
there's
to do it.
talks
You just got to
about
make it.
uh, there's talks about them rewriting Starkiller into the Star Wars lore.
Mhm.
But like at the same time, like or like the lore of Harry Potter. There's a whole lore of Harry Potter. And
I don't really care for Harry Potter, so that's. Yeah.
the new games looks cool, which
Uh,
I'll eventually I'll get it.
I don't think I'll get it, and that's fine. It's a single player game, anyways, right?
No, it's an MMO.
Oh, really?
It's an MMORPG.
Oh, I thought it was
That's
like
why I
a
like it.
single player open world game. Honestly,
No,
I haven't. That's how much I know about the game.
no,
Huh.
it's an open world RPG.
Hmm.
But you have to play like a certain amount before you're turned loose, you know.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um,
I guess
but
that makes
that's
sense.
why the
A lot
new
of games do that with like their noob zones for like World of Warcraft and
yeah.
stuff, where you're kind of like going to a tutorial and then they release you into the game.
Well, so like a great example of lore being written for a purpose is League.
League of Legends. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So as far as I know, they have never gone back and rewritten lore.
Mhm.
They've only ever added to it.
I thought they changed uh,
They could
Poppy.
do
They
champion.
changed Poppy's lore.
No, she was a Yordle from.
Didn't they change the name of like her hammer from like Blomgrum to something else? I don't know. I don't know. I thought I
They
remember seeing
might
that.
have, but I believe her that regardless of the
I'm
hammer's
sure
name,
the
it's
actual
still the
like
name of who she
story.
picked it off of. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure the
she
story.
wielded the hammer when she could barely pick it up. That's why when she swings it, she struggles to swing it.
Huh,
Um, yeah,
never knew
and
that. I don't know jack
yeah,
about League lore really, besides maybe the Yasuo
there's
beef.
there's yeah, I guess that could be an example of changing lore because they when they had originally written his story, it's like, well, you never said he had a brother,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
true.
and then now he has a brother who's
Mhm.
dead but not dead.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean when they come out with a new champion, I know there's like pages of lore about him, which is I think is pretty cool. I feel like if you're really interested in the champion, you can read into it and really I guess
like Jin.
connect in a way with it. Really relate, or not relate, but like connect and have a
Well,
connection with that
it
champion that you
also
like.
gets you excited for like a great example is Like you haven't seen Edge Runners, have you?
No.
Okay, well, so when you played through Cyberpunk, did you just kind of play through it, or did you pay attention?
Uh, I'd say
Like,
I
if you like lore,
I played through it, but I mean, I paid attention, and I would watch the cutscenes and read things. I mean, I didn't like read any of like any like journal entries how they do in games. I don't know if I don't even know if Cyberpunk has those like things you pick up that are like
no, but there's like a whole menu for everything that you see. But
Mhm,
if you really understand the atmosphere of Cyberpunk and what it is, then when you watch that anime, it makes so much sense
mhm,
because of what's happening and how. So the anime takes place before the events of 2077,
mhm,
and that's kind of they had to do that because like in the game you can find like the jacket that the main character um has in
mhm.
the anime, um but it makes it to where you can really appreciate the atmosphere of what happens
Yeah,
in the game.
I remember looking at a little bit of Cyberpunk lore. I think either before it came out or after it came out when I was playing it, because I remember like watching a video of like the war that happened before, and then they had the city. It's just like it's like the wasn't it like the biggest last like the last one of the last cities remaining right after the war, something like
With
that.
Cyberpunk,
Yeah,
yeah, there was the Corpo War,
yeah, that's right.
and then
Yeah,
it's not one of the last cities,
I know
but
there's
it's
like a few, yeah,
it's
but it's like a bunch of cities put together at that point, right? It was like I don't know.
it's like the equivalent of New York,
Mhm.
you know, but it's not the only, like there's more cities.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, I
I
know
feel
that.
like
Yeah.
that's why I'm so excited because so as of whenever we are making this, there's no there's no like release date for Phantom Liberties except for this year. And whenever that comes out, because it's supposed to add another 40 to 70 hours of gameplay,
All right.
but you're gonna have to pay for it,
Yeah.
which if you're adding another game essentially,
Sucks,
I
but
don't mind. Like
yeah.
it,
Mhm.
that's just it's not like you're making me pay for like the Edge Runners update, which added like 100 and something new stuff you can get
Mhm.
and new missions.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge
Update,
expansion. Yeah.
yeah, and that was why I was upset whenever they announced it and they're like, hey, by the way, you're gonna have to buy it,
Yeah.
and
I'm
people were
sure.
mad. It's like you've spent I don't know how much money CDPR spent on that.
On making a whole, doubling the game, pretty much the amount of game you play. 'Cause how long is the Cyberpunk campaign? The original one. I mean, even now
So
it's
it can take
crazy.
you. I think if you know life it and rush it, I think it can take you a little over 20 hours.
Yeah, 20 hours, and then including all the side quests and stuff is probably what 40, 50
So to
hours.
do everything takes you 70 hours.
Okay, so yeah, I mean it's pretty much a whole nother game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I can see. I mean,
I mean, I say that, and I'm also the same person that spent 300 hours in Mafia 3
yeah.
because so Mafia doesn't really have a lore,
Mhm.
but it has the atmosphere. Like I don't know if so in Mafia 3
I
when
didn't play
you
it. I played Mafia 2 though.
okay, well, so Mafia 3 takes place in New Orleans,
Mhm.
and so you're in the 60s and you're playing a black protagonist, right?
Mhm.
When you go to like one of the higher up cities,
Higher class, yeah.
where all the white people are, um, if you are walking on the sidewalk, the women will like clutch their purse and walk by you, and they'll
Huh.
hide their children from you.
Huh.
And it's a little detail like that is amazing to me.
Yeah, you think women hiding their children from African
Well, because
American people is amazing. I think it's great.
because it's time correct.
I know, I'm just messing with you.
Yeah.
I mean, they took time to add that detail in there to add to your immersion. To really
Yeah.
feel like
It's the
you're in that
same
guy's shoes. Yeah.
with RDR2, even though I that's one of those games like that and GTA where I don't think I could ever play the campaign all the way through.
No, I've tried.
It's too I don't want to say it's too open, but it's
Too
too
open
open.
ended. Too open ended. I
Yeah.
feel like
It's
there's
like
not a
you
lot
do
of
the first 3 missions and it's like, okay,
yeah.
now you
Go
gotta
do it.
mess around in this town before you can do something.
Yeah.
Like that's where I think Ubis like you people complain about Ubisoft open world games being the same, but at least there's still like a direction
Mhm. I don't
in the
know. Like
gameplay loop.
when I played, yeah, like I did the first few missions, and then you set up your camp, and then you do something, then like you move to Blackwater, then you move again, right?
I don't know. I got to the
Oh,
first camp and stopped.
oh, okay. Sorry. I don't
I
know. I don't
got
want
to
to
the
spoil anything.
mission.
I don't remember honestly, but
Well, so I got to the part where you go into the canyon on the mountain to find the
Mhm.
guy, and then I stopped playing.
Trying to remember. I don't know.
So it's right after you do the train thing with everyone,
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
and then you go into the city, and then you're
Mhm.
like, hey, you need to go find this guy because you go to the jail, right, to get a bounty or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. You go.
And then I
You
got
go
to
to the jail,
there,
you break a guy out after, right? Some guy got put in jail. You get a break out.
yeah, and then after that it was like, okay, you can do whatever you want, and I was like, I'm just not gonna play.
Yeah, I feel like at least I mean, when I finish and you get to the part where there's the camp. Uh, I mean, I don't know. It's just maybe just not for me, but there's like the one mission or like the one story mission that you have, and there's like not much else side missions. But I know you can kind of walk around and side things will come up, but like I don't know. I feel like there wasn't enough to do to really keep me to want to play for a while.
Yeah,
I mean, I know it's a great game. And I know it's a great game. Definitely deserves all the praise it has. It's really cool. I mean, the whole world, how it keeps going while you're in there. The small details like your beard growing. I think if you eat a lot, you can get. You know, I don't.
chunky. Yeah,
I think so. I don't know if that's.
yeah. I do like how like if you in the beginning of the game, if you like kill this person's wife, he'll and you come back later, he's like grieving the death of her.
Yeah, that I think is really cool. I think that I don't
Yeah,
know how difficult it is, but I feel like it should be in more games. Definitely. Um, yeah, I don't know. Just maybe not a game for me. I mean, it's fun. I might get back into it and play and just kind of hop on and go drive my horse around and you know I don't know.
yeah. I feel like it has the same effect that that GTA does, where there's
Oh,
no
GTA. Yeah, I never played the
and
GTA
and,
story
and
all
Forza,
the way through.
like Forza Horizon's the same deal.
I thought
You
it
know, and
was.
I have
Is it single player only? I thought it was multiplayer only. Like all like I mean I know you could probably play it, but I just I didn't think it was
there's a
online
story,
only. Really, there is.
sort of. There used to be,
Hmm. Is there lore for
but
that
there's not
one
anymore. No, not really.
too?
It's just a festival with cars.
Mhm.
Um, but like I have 63 hours on Forza.
Mhm.
I can buy whatever car I want. I can do whatever race I want.
Really,
So
63 hours in you can do all that? Wow.
well, I could do it at 20 hours.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. There's no like reason to keep playing.
Mhm. Besides just
Like
playing with friends and stuff, yeah.
I'll get on only to pass time.
Or buy a new car that comes out.
Yeah, or like let's see here. There's so January 27th there was a major update and added um the Japanese series. So like the only way to keep people playing is they have to come out with new cars. There's no
Yeah. I mean, but I know it's just a driving game. So I mean, there's not much you can
like that. So
do.
they
I
added
guess.
They added some wheels,
Mm-hmm.
but besides that, they like haven't really added anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I'm not complaining by any means, but it's
You want
just
more sustenance in your game, yeah. I got you.
like I want a reason to come back instead of just, oh, you can have a new car.
Yeah.
But also, it is a car game, so it's kind of like,
They're kind
how
of
do you
limited
have
to what you can add, yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. Well, it's been a little over an hour and a half.
Yeah.
A lot longer than I thought it would be. I thought,
Yeah.
we'd probably.
I was waiting for it to be like a 40-minute
I
ordeal.
was expecting a 30, 40-minute podcast where we ran out of things to talk about. But I mean, honestly, I feel like we can keep talking. But I feel like for a first episode, hour and a half that's probably a good. We're probably at a good stopping point now, I think.
Yeah.
Well, thank you to everyone who's watching or listening, not watching. Sorry, maybe in the future. But thank you for everyone who's listening. Really appreciate it. Our first episode here. We're kind of just I don't
Winging
know,
it.
winging it. Yeah, I guess is what you could say. Winging it. Not sure exactly how to do things quite yet, but hopefully we'll get the hang of it and keep going if everything permits. But yeah, thank you to everyone for listening. It's been honestly, I've had a really good time. Honestly, I was expecting to kind of be nervous and quiet and kind of just not know what to do, but it's been fun. And
Yeah.
honestly, I want to keep doing this even if no one really listens in. But yeah, thank you guys.